Mother Teresa, written by Edward Allen Kurtz. Who was Mother Teresa? Mother Teresa was a Roman Catholic religious sister. She is famous for her work with poor and sick people in Kolkata, India. A religious sister is someone who is part of a group of women helping people. These people are poor, sick, and don't go to school. Mother Teresa founded the Missionaries of Charity in Kolkata in 1950. Today, there are about 5,000 religious sisters who help the Missionaries of Charity in over 100 countries. Early years. Mother Teresa was born on August 26, 1910, in the city of Skopje in Southeast Europe. When she was born, her parents called her Agnes. Agnes was the youngest child in her family. She loved to read stories about religious sisters who helped the people of India. When she was 12 years old, Agnes knew that she wanted to become a religious sister. Studies. When she was 18, Agnes left her family and moved to Ireland. She joined the Sisters of Loreto at Loreto Abbey, near Dublin, the capital of Ireland. And Abbey is the name of the building where religious sisters live. Agnes chose the Sisters of Loreto because she wanted to learn English. The Sisters of Loreto used English when they taught in schools in India. She spent 1 year at Loreto Abbey, learning English before she was ready to move to India. Learning to be a religious sister. When she was 19 years old, Agnes arrived in India. She went to the town of Darjeeling, near the Himalayan mountains. This area of India is famous for its tea. It was here that Agnes studied how to be a religious sister. She also learned a new language, Bengali. This is the language that is spoken in the eastern part of India and in Kolkata, the capital of West Bengal. She also taught at St. Teresa's school. It was at this time that she chose to be called Teresa. Teacher. Teresa finished studying how to be a religious sister. Then she took her vows. These are promises to be a good person and also to help people. Now she was Sister Teresa. She taught at the Loreto School in the eastern part of Kolkata. Sister Teresa taught at this school for almost 20 years. In 1944, she became head of the school. She liked teaching, but it made her sad to see all of the poor and sick people around her in Kolkata. The train trip. On September 10, 1946, Sister Teresa was going by train from Kolkata to Darjeeling. She had a lot of time to think during this train trip. She liked teaching, but she decided to lead the school. She wanted to live and work with the poor people in Kolkata. She became a citizen of India and got some medical training. She stopped wearing the clothes of the Sisters of Loreto. Instead, she wore a simple white cotton sari. A sari is what women in India wear. The Missionaries of Charity. Sister Teresa now had become Mother Teresa. She started a school in Kolkata and took care of poor and hungry people. Soon a group of young women joined Mother Teresa to help her with her missionary work. At the beginning it was very hard. She had no money and had to beg for food and other things, but she was strong. She set up the Missionaries of Charity in 1950. At first there were only 12 people helping her, but this was going to change. The Missionaries of Charity grows bigger. Mother Teresa opened a home for the dying. This was a place where poor people who were dying could live. She was a Christian, but she said that people of other religions like Muslims and Hindus could live at the home. There were many children with no parents in Kolkata. Mother Teresa opened a home for these children and homeless young people. I now people were giving money to help the missionaries of charity. Spreading around the world. Mother Teresa started to open houses for the poor and sick, outside of Kolkata, in places all over India. After this she went outside of India. She opened a house in Venezuela in 1965 with just 5 religious sisters. Later she opened houses in Africa, Asia, Europe, and the United States. She went to Lebanon, where there was a war going on. She asked both sides to stop. They agreed, and she and others were able to save 37 children in a hospital close to the fighting. Other missionary work. Mother Teresa began traveling more and more to help people around the world. She traveled to Ethiopia to help the starving people there. She helped people in Armenia after a big earthquake in 1988. When she died in 1997, there were nearly 5,000 religious sisters working in over 600 houses in over 100 countries. Mother Teresa was given many awards for all the work she did to help people. She was made a saint in September 2016. Now we can call her Saint Teresa. Martin Luther. Written by Edward Allan Kurtz. Who was Martin Luther? Martin Luther was a famous teacher from Germany. He started a new church. It is a Christian church and is called the Lutheran Church. This kind of church is named after him. Before Luther started his new church, there was only one kind of church in Europe. It was called the Roman Catholic Church. This kind of church was very old. There were many things about this kind of church that Luther did not like, so he started his own church. Early years. Martin Luther was born on November 10, 1483. He was born in a town called Eisleben, in Germany. Luther's parents both went to the Roman Catholic Church in Eisleben. They taught their son Martin to be a Roman Catholic. When he was just 1 year old, his family moved to Mansfeld, another small town in Germany. His father worked underground in a mine. Luther had 1 brother and 3 sisters. Studies. At this time many schools taught Latin. Latin was the language of the Roman Empire about 2,000 years ago. It was also the language of the Roman Catholic Church. Luther's father wanted his son to be a lawyer, so he sent Luther to a Latin school. As a boy, Luther really did not like going to school. He liked music, and he learned how to play the lute. A lute is a musical instrument with strings like a guitar. Almost a lawyer. After he finished studying Latin, Luther went to college. He was 19 years old. At this college he learned many new things, but he did not like going to this school. He had to wake up early in the morning. It was still dark outside, but he finished all of his classes at this college. His father still wanted Luther to be a lawyer, so Luther started to study at a law school. But he stopped going to classes. He really did not like studying law. The storm. Luther started to like religion. He liked this better than studying law. So he was thinking about being a monk. A monk is a man who lives with other monks. They pray a lot, but they also have to help do work. They grow vegetables in their gardens and look after farm animals. One day Luther was riding his horse. There was a big storm. He was almost hit by lightning. He shouted, "Help! I will become a monk." Luther the monk. Luther was now a monk. He prayed to God every day. He also fasted. To fast means to not eat any food for a while. Some people fast for just one day. Other people fast for a longer time. Luther also learned about the Roman Catholic Church, but he started to think about what he was learning. There were things about the Roman Catholic Church that he did not like. This kind of church asked everybody for a lot of money. He did not think this was good. Luther, the priest and teacher. After he was finished being a monk, Luther went back to school. He studied religion and became a priest. A priest is a leader of a church. A priest stands at the front of the church and helps people to understand God. Just 1 year later, the head of a big school asked Luther to be a teacher. This school was called the University of Wittenberg. He was now the teacher of religion at this school. He stayed at the school for the rest of his life. Money. The head of the Roman Catholic Church is called the Pope. He lives in Rome. The name of his church is St. Peter's Church. St. Peter's Church was getting old. The Pope wanted to fix this problem. He wanted to rebuild St. Peter's Church. So he asked people in Roman Catholic churches all over Europe for money. Luther thought this was wrong. The Pope was very rich. The people were poor. 95. That was just one thing Luther did not like. But there were many more. There were 95 things that Luther did not like about the Roman Catholic Church. He wrote all of these in Latin, and soon they were written in German. He nailed his list to the door of the church in Wittenberg. This way everyone in Germany could read what he had to say. Soon, everyone in Europe knew about Luther. Many people stopped sending money to the Pope. This made the Pope very angry. Big trouble. The Pope said that Luther could not be a Roman Catholic anymore. At this time, people who did not agree with Pope were in big trouble. Luther could be killed for what he said about the Pope and Roman Catholic Church. He was put in jail for a while. When he got out of jail, he started his own church, the Lutheran Church. This new church became famous. Many people started to go to his new church. Martin Luther, 1